Hey, you fucks, this is Everyone's Wrong. I'm Dave, aka the Great White North.
And I am Dustin Dark, the all-known Samoan.
And what's up, all known Samoan?
Oh well, pretty much anyone that's listening is probably new. So I've been giving myself a fake name every week now for about a year, and it comes from I joined a podcast that had been running for a few years already, the Wayward Atheist, and everyone had nicknames, and I think it's the gayest shit in the world to nickname yourself, right? So I just didn't have one for a while, and then I thought it'd be funny to just like come up with a fake, like usually racially inspired or whatever nickname. And this is my favorite one that I come up with over the last year, so I think I'm just gonna roll with it. I'll just bite the fag and go ahead and start.
A couple of Americans named me the Great White North.
A couple Americans.
Yeah.
Well,
And they weren't white either. They weren't white Americans.
I believe you. I believe
Yeah.
that's funny. That's funny, man. Yeah. So how's your week been?
Expensive, man. That's back to school shit. God damn it, kids are expensive. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, and you're texting me about the hell you were in just being there shopping with your wife.
Well, like leaving it to the last weekend. First of all, was not
The wisest
not
thing,
this
absolutely.
the brightest thing because a lot of sizes are gone, and then it takes twice as long to shop, and there's screaming kids and angry housewives everywhere, and I'm just like, holy fuck. So I was like, that's it, let's go eat.
You
I've
told
had
me
enough.
you told me that you had to drive your wife there. Do you want to tell me
Yeah.
why, or do you want to plead the fifth on that and walk away a clean
Well,
man?
she's she doesn't have a driver's license.
Oh, okay, cool. All right,
Yeah, I'll
gotta.
plead the fifth. um she has her beginners. She's had her beginners for, I don't know, ever since I've known her. It expires, and then she doesn't go back because she's a super nervous driver. It may have something to do with the fact that she's Asian. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy.
Okay, and the truth comes out. It's because she's Asian and you're a racist.
And I'm a racist. And I'll also, like, I mean, I suppose she could buy herself a car, but I have a big ass truck, and she's 5'1", and I just no, she's not driving the truck.
No, fair enough, man. I always thought it was like a bullshit racial stereotype, about Asians and driving. But this is what I found out recently. I was watching a really good YouTube channel, ADV China, where it's these two guys that go around to one South African, and one American that have moved to China, and they go around and they talk about China. And one of the things they explained is that there's very few, if any, like patrolling police officers, like highway patrol. They don't sit on the side of the road and like speed check and that type of shit, right? They have an intricate system of traffic stops. And if you're not in a major city, you don't really get those a lot of the time. You just have nothing. So if you're not doing something that's going to be caught on camera, you just do whatever the fuck you want. And so that's how they learn to drive. So of course they're going to bring those habits with them. So that's a stereotype that is somewhat based in reality, foreshadowing for later, much later in the episode. But
Yeah.
yeah. So we had a comment about the last episode. It's pretty long. Do you want to get into it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It was 4 paragraphs. I had to do it in 2 screenshots because this guy
I
wasn't fucking playing.
I I think I only read the first one. I
Okay.
didn't know there was more.
There was more. So here, buckle in,
Okay.
Dave. Here we go.
Okay.
This is from Brody. He says, "I'm sorry, but this is a horrible response video. Instead of breaking down the video little by little and creating straw man." He did a little typo there. Instead of breaking down the video little by little, you're creating straw man, I believe is what he's saying there. It's better if you. Oh, no. I'm sorry. He was right. It's better if you analyze after a couple of minutes and comprehend the main point of the video. For example, Sticks actually said that Trudeau wants the other world leaders to like him the next few seconds in the video after Dave, if I'm getting the commenter's name right, you did, man, disagree that Trudeau is different than that. Trump, because he wants to be liked around the world, moral standing. Another point, and I would say that we did jump the gun a little bit on that, so it's probably good
What
advice
what
to
what
watch
was
the
that?
video a
What
little
was
more.
that?
There was
What
one
was that
particular
again?
point where where you said that that Trudeau wants the people to like him, that he's not so much an
Yeah.
ideologue as someone that
Yeah.
wants to be liked.
Yeah.
You disagreed with Sticks and said that, and then like the next second after we unpaused, he said that. So like,
Yeah. Okay.
probably being a little more familiar with the video before we do it. But
Sure.
here's the thing. We did watch the video, right? And you were familiar with it, but it was the main point where he said that Mexico was the main trading partner that
Well,
that
let's go
brought us
back.
in.
So just because Stick said that Trudeau wants to be liked around the world doesn't mean that the rest of his assessment wasn't wrong about Trudeau. Like calling Trudeau a coward.
Yeah,
Trudeau's not a coward. He really isn't.
fair enough. He's had boxing matches with several guys. I believe you even talked about that. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
his
You
opponents.
can Google it and or watch it on YouTube. The videos are there. You can go ahead. And also, he's not backing down from Trump either. I mean, a coward would back down. Go ahead, put it back up on the screen there for me.
Yeah. We were just talking, so I want to show the camera.
Sure.
Okay.
If Brody listens to this, I doubt he will. But if he does,
I'll link him to this actually.
okay.
Go on.
If he does, there's no need to be sorry that you didn't like the video.
No. And here's the thing too that I don't understand. Before we get back in this, I'm gonna take it down for another second. We're in this show is in a transitional stage. Like me and Dave here have been podcasting together for about 2 years now. Right? Is that right? Yeah, 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that.
And then for about 2 years before that, he had another crew with 2 other guys. You know, we lost one shortly after I joined. Big Black Gay Dave, he's a good guy. I miss him. And then we lost Ed right before we made this change to with video, and we decided to lean more on YouTube. So we're making 2 adjustments. One, we're brand new to YouTube. This may be episode 31. We may have been podcasting for a few years, but we did these long form conversation based podcasts, and YouTube tends to be a little more fast paced and to the point. So like we're going to try to go for something in the middle. I at least I am personally.
Yeah.
And we're getting our legs on exactly how we're going to do this. And doing it without Ed, because he really was, he helped carry the conversation a lot,
Yeah.
So back to this comment.
Okay, so back to this, and then when he says it's a terrible response video, I wasn't really making your typical YouTube response video. It was Dave reacts to Styx's video. It was more of my reaction to it, and basically what I thought about what he was saying. And when you're podcasting and you're breaking down a video or an audio, because people can't see what's going on it, you do that. You pause, you discuss the point that you wanted to make, and then you press play again. Yeah. So it could be a fair point that on YouTube we shouldn't be doing that. Like I said, though, there's no need to be sorry that he didn't like the format. Now, creating a straw man, he was wrong on almost everything that he said. He was wrong that Mexico is the U.S.'s largest trading partner. He was wrong. Trudeau's not a coward. Okay. Anyways, he was wrong on most everything he said. I agreed with him on a couple other points. So could you go down to where he says Trump because he wants to be liked around the world? Another point. Start from another point.
Another point. Just because Styx is a libertarian and is closer to Trudeau politically does not mean he can't disagree with the politics of Trudeau and is required to stand by Canada. So I don't actually understand what he's saying here. Styx is a libertarian. He would be closer to Trump, not to Trudeau. I think he means just because.
No, no. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Okay, go
so
on.
what I said was that Styx and Islam are ideological enemies. That Styx is actually closer politically and ideologically to Trudeau than he would be to Saudi Arabia and the Saudi Arabian prince.
Saudi Arabia.
So, and he's not required to stand up for Trudeau. I never said that he was required to stand up to Trudeau, but to take Saudi Arabia's side over Canada, who's supposed to be your closest ally, that's ludicrous, man. That there's no excuse, or there's no washing that under the rug. I gotta call that out as bullshit. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, and we should. One of the reasons I feel like we should be compelled to stand by Canada is by honor and dignity and our long-standing relationship, our many battles together, and so forth.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So same with the USA. It doesn't matter if Canada sends troops or help the USA. Bam, that is the past. Man,
That's wrong. Okay, so if like what do we do it for? If it's not for so this is probably the bad term, but it's the first thing that's coming to my head. If it doesn't curry favor when it comes to stuff like this, why would we bother to send our boys and girls to die for American interests? Why would we bother? If when it's time to renegotiate something, or we have a prime minister that you guys may not like, shit completely goes out the fucking window and you start treating us like enemies, why would we bother? And it's not just sending the troops. Look at Iran, how our diplomats snuck your diplomats out before they were fucking killed. Or the fact that thousands and thousands of your citizens couldn't get into your country after 9/11 attack, and we took them in and fed them and clothed them and let them into our homes. So if that doesn't curry favor, why would anybody do it?
Fair
So
enough.
if we just continue to do this stuff for you guys and we don't get anything in return, what we got in return from you was free access to your giant economy, but it wasn't like we weren't giving you anything in return for it. You were getting our natural resources. So like all the other countries that you guys can complain about that you lend money to, you go over there, you interfere in, or not interfere, but you save them from other militaries or from dictators. You haven't had to do that with us. We've been going and saving them with you.
That's a very fair point, I would say.
So I mean, like that. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways,
all right. Back to comment. We have a lot to go over here, and we can't get stuck on this too much.
Yeah.
All right.
You go ahead.
It doesn't matter if Canada sends troops. That's the past. If the U.S. ain't going to get a good deal that she wants, then the U.S. will make a deal with another nation that's probably a non-traditional ally of the United States. You know what, man? It's one thing to not do a deal. It's another thing to be punitive and to say things like he's going to punish. Right? So that I would say you're missing there a little bit. Why would anyone want to help us in the future if we're going to turn around and punish them because we feel like we want X, Y, and Z? You know, it would be one thing if you guys were being punitive to us out front. And I know there's some dairy shit, but that's so minor. And you know that we did have a deficit with you guys. You guys had a deficit with us, and you're our largest trading partner. It's all nonsense. It's not wise. So no nation perfectly filters who it wants to do business with. Talking to his wife.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's fine. No nation perfectly filters who it wants to do business with. The U.S. has done business with traditional allies like Canada and Western Europe to dictators like Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. Well, the thing about Saudi Arabia is it's not so much their dictatorship; it's that they're sponsoring world terror and a threat to us. They're a threat to us. They're sort of an enemy, and Canada's sort of an ally. So yeah, I do feel like there should be some sort of favoritism towards allies, and maybe not so much favoritism towards people who are ultimately would love to see our demise rather than just want to trade with us. Like that holds economic weight. I don't know that I want to help a country that wants to hurt us. Go on.
Of course, and this notion that there was a good deal. You already had a good deal. It already was a good deal. Yeah. You guys had tariffs on us, like this whole, like, you guys believing Trump that everything is nasty. Like, okay, so right now, if you don't know, what's the gentleman's name?
Brody.
The two sticking points in NAFTA right now are Chapter 19 and the dairy. So you guys want to abolish Chapter 19 of NAFTA, which is the punitive side. So like if a U.S. company, breaks a trade agreement or the country of the United States or Canada, right now a company can take that country to court, and Canada's taken your country to court and won successfully, and there's cases against Canada as well. Well, Trump wants to abolish that because we've won more in the tribunals than you guys have against us. But you can't have countries that are separated doing business, and business, and somebody fucks the other one over and not have a way of settling that dispute. That's just not
Right.
logical.
If you don't have a court you can go to, then
Yeah.
arms are very likely.
What's
Let's move on.
the point?
We gotta push. We gotta
Okay.
push. All right. Second half of this. Also, Stick's description of Trump and Trudeau is correct. Trump is more bombastic. You said it yourself. While Trudeau is more diplomatic. Sticks. We've already been over this. Sticks used the word passive aggressiveness, but still makes jabs towards those he doesn't like. Don't know what imaginary disagreement you have with Sticks, except in more time of the video pretending to disagree with him. Here's the thing. We probably should have led with the main disagreement, which is that Sticks claimed that Mexico was our largest trading partner, and that's just not the reality of the situation. And then you go on about socialism and the Mexican president and how it doesn't work, and you're confused why he doesn't know why socialism is bad, because the topic of the video isn't about socialism. No, we didn't note that the socialist difference because it's bad. You know, it's not like socialism is bad. I'm good. It's that this guy is actually trying to send people to our country. It's another thing where he's acting like an enemy rather than an ally. He's actively acting like an enemy on one hand. Why would we want to be an economic ally with someone that is trying to hurt us? He is telling people to leave Mexico and come to America. Trump is trying to stop people leaving Mexico and coming to America. That makes them enemies. That shouldn't be that hard to understand. If you want to hear about Stick's views on socialism, yeah. It seems you guys come in ready with the opinion to tear this video apart before listening to what he says. Like I said, we should have led with a strong point. I spent 30 minutes listening to this video and looking for a direct response and didn't get any. That's because it's at about the 35, 40-minute mark. I'm afraid if I spend another 30 minutes, I'll be wasting another 30 minutes of my life that I won't get back. All right. You know, man, and if our style's not what you like, that's fine. But I would say, man, I did listen to what I felt was fair criticism. And stick around. I'll put I'll mark when it starts. I'm doing another response video at the end of this episode. Check it out. Tell me if we did any better on that one, man. Maybe you'll like it. You know, and I have a quick story that's going to relate a little later to a certain extent. You know, my mother, adopted mother, she's, you know, like 78, 80 years old at this point. She runs a business selling clothes, very small. Like, you know, 1-2 employees at the most, and usually they're part-time. So she has a customer come in, a black gentleman, middle-aged, that asks her if she watches the news. And she said, yeah, I watch the news most every night, you know, 6, 7 o'clock news, local news. And he goes, did you hear about the whole monkey thing in Florida? Have you heard about this, Dave?
No.
So the way it was initially reported is that, you know, 2 guys are running in Florida. I want to say it's the Senate. I could look it up real quick, but fucking who cares? The point is, Republican gubernatorial candidate. The guy said, don't monkey up this election by voting for the socialist agenda on the other side, right? It's reported that he said, don't monkey up the vote, end of the quote, by voting for black candidate.
What?
That's, you see, it's 2 different stories, isn't it? So this guy asked my, you know, 80-year-old grandmother, you know, about this. And she goes, no, I didn't hear anything about it. And he goes, well, that's because you hear what you want to hear, rednecks like you. Right? And then he starts going on about your president wants to make this country white again. Right? So she had to call the police and make them leave.
Wow.
Like, I went to see her today. And I was going to tell a story about how I had a slight disagreement with a customer at work. And he told a coworker of mine that he had his pistol with him and he didn't mind using it. And I didn't even know we had a fucking disagreement, you know? So it's been an interesting week, Dave. You know, like my coworker goes, she goes back and tells him, like, you know, this was just a misunderstanding. You know, she comes back and tells me the same thing. She goes, you know, he said that he's fine and he's calmed down. It was just a misunderstanding. And I said, I don't have misunderstandings with handguns. I have misunderstandings because I bumped into you. You know, I have misunderstandings because I forgot to set my alarm. I don't have misunderstandings with handguns. That's a fucking threat. Anyway.
Yeah.
you want to get into the main part of the show here, man?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ready to do your segment? Trudeau's a cunt.
Sure, yeah. Let's do it.